The jungle is alive with gunfire and death. 12 Navy SEALs are trapped in a dry riverbed, pinned down by 40 enemy fighters who have them surrounded on 3 sides. The 4th side is a sheer cliff, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, just a killing ground where America's elite warriors are about to be wiped out. Staff Sergeant Nadine Parker watches through her rifle scope from a concealed position 800 meters away, elevated in the dense jungle canopy. She's been tracking these enemy fighters for 2 days, watching them set up ambush positions, waiting for American forces to walk into their trap. And now the trap has been sprung. Through her scope, she sees SEAL operators taking cover behind rocks and fallen trees, returning fire against impossible odds. She sees muzzle flashes from 40 different positions in the jungle, machine guns, rifles, coordinated fire that's chewing up the SEAL's defensive position. She sees 2 SEALs already down, dragged into cover by their teammates. The radio transmission crackles through her headset. Any station, this is Neptune 1. We are pinned. Enemy force 40+. We have wounded. Request immediate QRF and air support. Over. Command responds with the answer she knew was coming. Neptune 1, Overwatch copies. QRF is inbound, ETA 30 minutes. Air support unavailable due to weather. Hold your position. 30 minutes. Nadine can see the enemy massing for a final assault. The SEALs have maybe 5 minutes before they're overrun. She looks at her Barrett M82A 1.50 caliber sniper rifle, 20 rounds loaded, 1 already chambered. The jungle around her is so thick that nobody can see her position, hidden in a natural platform 60 feet up in a massive tree. She's invisible, silent, deadly. Her orders are clear. Observe enemy movements, gather intelligence, do not engage unless directly threatened. Her mission is reconnaissance, not combat support. But 12 Americans are about to die because she's following orders. Nadine keys her radio to the SEAL frequency. Neptune 1, this is Reaper 6. I have elevated position 800 meters northwest of your location. I count 40 enemy combatants in 14 distinct positions. I have clear sight lines on their machine gun nests and assault elements. Give me authorization to engage, and I'll start dropping them. There's a pause. Gunfire in the background, shouting, the chaos of a unit fighting for survival. Then, Reaper 6, Neptune 1 actual. Who are you and how did you get this frequency? I'm an Army sniper who's been watching this jungle for 2 days and knows every enemy position. I've got a 50 cal and 20 rounds. You've got about 4 minutes before they overrun you. Do you want my help or not? Reaper 6, you are authorized to engage. Priority targets are the machine guns. Roger. Watch the machine gun at your 2 o'clock, 300 meters out. He's about to have a bad day. Nadine settles into her rifle. The Barrett's massive scope brings the jungle into sharp focus. She can see the enemy machine gunner clearly, firing sustained bursts, his position protected by sandbags and jungle cover. She controls her breathing, finds her natural pause, places her crosshairs on his chest, and squeezes the trigger. The .50 caliber rifle roars. Even with the suppressor, it's loud. The recoil is massive. Through her scope, she watches the bullet travel 800 meters through jungle air and strike the gunner center mass. The kinetic energy of a .50 cal round is devastating. The gunner doesn't just die, he's torn apart. The machine gun position goes silent, covered in blood and fragments. 1 down, 19 rounds left, 39 enemies to go. Before I show you how Nadine Parker systematically eliminated 20 enemy combatants in 23 minutes and saved 12 Navy SEALs in the densest jungle warfare engagement of her career, drop a comment telling us where in the world you're watching from and hit subscribe. Because this story proves that sometimes one person with perfect precision can turn impossible odds into victory. Now, let's get into it. Nadine works the bolt on her Barrett, chambering a fresh round. The jungle erupts with confused shouts. The enemy fighters heard the shot but can't locate her position. They're scanning the wrong direction, looking at ground level when she's 60 feet up in a tree 800 meters away. She shifts her aim to the second machine gun position. This gunner is firing at the SEALs from behind a fallen log, his weapon mounted on the wood for stability. Through her scope, Nadine can see his head and shoulders clearly. She fires. The .50 caliber round hits him in the upper chest and he simply ceases to exist. The machine gun tips sideways, its operator gone. 2 down, 18 rounds left. Neptune 1, Reaper 6, 2 machine guns neutralized, engaging assault elements now. Roger, Reaper 6, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Our fire pressure just dropped by half. Nadine scans the jungle through her scope, identifying targets. The enemy assault element is preparing to rush the SEAL position, 15 fighters moving into final positions before the charge. They're using the jungle cover well, staying low, maintaining dispersion. But she has elevation advantage. What looks like good cover from ground level is completely exposed from her position 60 feet up. She can see them clearly through gaps in the canopy. She engages the assault leader first, the fighter who's gesturing to others, coordinating the attack. Range: 847 meters. He's moving between trees, but Nadine tracks him patiently. When he pauses to signal his fighters, she has a 2-second window. She takes it. The shot is perfect. The assault leader drops. The fighters around him freeze, confusion spreading through their ranks. Their leader just died, and they didn't see or hear the shot that killed him. Nadine doesn't give them time to think. She engages the next fighter, 823 meters, partially concealed behind a tree trunk. She can see his torso through a gap in the vegetation. She fires. He falls. Work the bolt. Chamber new round. Acquire next target. Fire. Target drops. She's in a rhythm now, the practice sequence of a professional sniper operating at peak efficiency. Breathe, aim, fire, repeat. 5 down, 15 rounds left, 35 enemies remaining. The enemy fighters are starting to panic. They're taking fire from a source they can't identify. Some are shooting blindly into the jungle. Some are trying to find cover. All are confused and demoralized. Nadine shifts to the third machine gun position, 698 meters, elevated on a small hill. The gunner is still firing at the SEALs, unaware that 2 of his fellow machine gunners are already dead. She places her crosshairs on him and fires. The .50 caliber round travels the distance in just over a second and strikes with devastating force. The third machine gun goes silent. Neptune 1, Reaper 6. All 3 machine guns are down. Your suppression is gone. Recommend you prepare to displace when I create an opening. Roger, Reaper 6. We're ready to move on your signal. Nadine focuses on the enemy fighters who are positioned to block the SEALs' withdrawal route. There are 8 of them spread across a 100-meter line, using trees and rocks for cover. They're the cork in the bottle. If she can eliminate them, the SEALs can break out. She engages them systematically, working from left to right across the line. First fighter, 734 meters behind a boulder. She can see his head and shoulders. 1 shot, target down. Second fighter, 756 meters, pressed against a tree trunk. She waits for him to lean out, then fires. Target eliminated. Third fighter, 712 meters, in a prone position. Difficult shot through heavy vegetation, but she can see enough of him. She fires. Target hit. The remaining 5 fighters on the line realize they're being picked off and try to withdraw, but movement makes them easier targets. Fourth fighter, running at 789 meters. Nadine leads his movement and fires. He goes down mid-stride. Fifth fighter, 801 meters, trying to low-crawl to better cover. The movement catches her eye. She fires. Target stops moving. Sixth fighter, 723 meters, firing his rifle blindly toward what he thinks is her position. He's wrong by about 40 degrees. Nadine corrects his mistake permanently. Seventh fighter, 834 meters, the farthest of this group. He's trying to organize a withdrawal, gathering fighters around him. Another leadership target. Nadine drops him. Eighth fighter, 698 meters, frozen in fear behind a tree. He's not shooting, not moving, just hiding. Nadine gives him a permanent hiding place. 13 down, 7 rounds left, 27 enemies remaining. Neptune 1, Reaper 6, your withdrawal route is clear. I count 27 enemy remaining, but they're disorganized and withdrawing. Move now while you have the opening. Roger, Reaper 6, we're moving. Through her scope, Nadine watches the SEAL team begin their tactical withdrawal. They're carrying their 2 wounded, moving in coordinated bounds, maintaining security. Professional infantry movement even under extreme stress, but the enemy isn't finished. A group of 10 fighters is trying to flank the SEALs' withdrawal route, moving fast through the jungle to cut them off. Nadine sees them and shifts her aim. These fighters are moving quickly through thick vegetation, difficult targets, but she has to stop them before they reach an intercept position. First flanker, 812 meters, moving fast between trees. She fires ahead of his movement, and he runs directly into the bullet. Target down. Second flanker, 789 meters, pausing to check his position. Fatal mistake. Nadine shoots him during the pause. Third flanker, 756 meters, also pausing. Another mistake. Another body falling. The remaining 7 flankers realize they're being engaged and scatter. Some try to find cover, some try to continue the flanking movement, some just run. Nadine engages them as targets of opportunity present themselves. Fourth flanker, 823 meters behind inadequate cover, the 50 cal punches through his cover and through him. Fifth flanker, 867 meters running through a clearing. She leads him and fires, target drops. Sixth flanker, 791 meters, firing back toward her general direction but not her actual position. She ends his confusion. Seventh flanker, 734 meters, trying to low crawl away. The movement makes him visible. Nadine fires. Movement stops. 20 down, 0 rounds left in her rifle. But she's not done. Nadine has 2 more weapons with her, an M110 semi-automatic sniper rifle chambered in 7.62 millimeters and her M4 carbine for close defense. She sets the Barrett aside and picks up the M110. Neptune 1, Reaper 6, I've eliminated 20 enemy combatants including all 3 machine guns and both flanking elements. Remaining enemy forces are withdrawing. What's your status? Reaper 6, Neptune 1. We're mobile with wounded, moving to extraction point. We owe you our lives. Can we coordinate extraction for you? Negative, Neptune 1. I'm mission-focused here, but I'm tracking 7 remaining enemy fighters who are trying to regroup. I'm going to make sure they don't follow you. Roger, Reaper 6, you are clear to engage. The 7 remaining enemy fighters have regrouped about 900 meters from Nadine's position. They're trying to organize some kind of pursuit, or at least maintain observation on the withdrawing SEALs. Nadine switches to her M110. It's a less powerful weapon than the Barrett, but it's semi-automatic, faster to fire, and perfect for the ranges she's now dealing with. She settles into a new firing position in her tree stand and begins engaging the regrouped fighters. First shot, 887 meters, center mass on the apparent leader. The 7.62 millimeter round hits, target down. Second shot, 901 meters, fighter turning to see where the shot came from. He never completes the turn. Target down. The remaining 5 fighters scatter. They're running now, abandoning any thought of pursuit, just trying to escape the invisible death that's been decimating their force. Third shot, 856 meters, running target. Nadine leads the movement and fires. Target drops. Fourth shot, 823 meters, fighter trying to return fire. His shots are going nowhere near her position. She ends his attempt. Fifth shot, 912 meters, fighter running through thick vegetation. Difficult shot through jungle cover, but Nadine can see enough of him. She fires. Movement stops. Sixth shot, 867 meters, fighter diving behind a tree. She waits patiently. He has to show himself eventually to move. When he does, she's ready. Target down. Seventh shot, 934 meters, the final fighter. He's running flat out, abandoning everything, just trying to survive. Nadine tracks him through her scope, leads his movement, and fires. At 934 meters through dense jungle, the bullet finds its mark. The final enemy fighter falls, 27 down, 13 rounds remaining in the M110, 0 enemies, still combat effective. Neptune 1, Reaper 6, all enemy forces neutralized or withdrawn. I count 27 enemy KIA. You're clear to extraction. Safe travels. Reaper 6, Neptune 1 actual. I don't have words. You saved 12 lives today. We'll never forget this. When we get back, I'm finding out who you are and buying you whatever you want. Just get your people home safe. That's all I need. Reaper 6 is going dark. Nadine remains in her elevated position for another 30 minutes, watching to make sure no enemy forces return. The jungle around her is silent now except for natural sounds, birds returning to their normal behavior, insects resuming their noise. The firefight that killed 27 enemy fighters is over. She begins breaking down her position, carefully packing her equipment. The Barrett goes into its case. The M110 gets slung across her back. She checks her climbing gear, ensures her descent route is clear, and begins the careful climb down from her position 60 feet up. The jungle floor feels different after spending hours elevated above it. She moves carefully through the vegetation, avoiding the kill zone where bodies lie scattered across several hundred meters of jungle. She's not here to confirm kills or collect intelligence. She's here to disappear. As she moves through the dense jungle toward her extraction point 3 kilometers away, she reflects on what just happened. 27 enemy fighters dead, 12 SEALs alive. All because she made the decision to violate her orders and engage. But something unexpected happens as she's moving through the jungle. Her radio crackles with a transmission on the SEAL frequency. Reaper 6, Neptune 1, we've got a problem. Enemy reinforcements are moving toward our extraction point. We count approximately 15 fighters, and they're going to reach the LZ before we do. We're still 20 minutes out with wounded. Can you assist? Nadine checks her position. She's actually closer to the extraction point than the SEALs are, about 12 minutes away at her current pace, and she still has 13 rounds in her M110 and full magazines for her M4. Neptune 1, Reaper 6. I'm closer to the extraction point than you are. Give me 10 minutes and I'll secure it before you arrive. Reaper 6, you're one person against 15 enemy fighters. I'm one person with elevation advantage, surprise, and better weapons. I'll take those odds. Just get your people there. I'll make sure it's clear when you arrive. Nadine changes direction and moves toward the extraction point at increased speed. She's covering rough jungle terrain, but she knows this area. She's been operating here for days and has routes mapped in her mind. 8 minutes later, she reaches a position overlooking the extraction point, a small clearing where helicopters can land, and she can see the enemy fighters moving into ambush positions around it. They're setting up exactly the kind of trap the SEALs are walking into. 15 fighters spread across a 100-meter perimeter around the clearing, machine gun position on the north side, riflemen scattered in covered positions. They're expecting the Americans, ready to open fire the moment helicopters appear. Nadine climbs a tree on the south side of the clearing, establishing a new elevated position about 40 feet up. From here, she has clear angles on most of the enemy positions. She sets up her M110, checks her sight picture, and begins engaging. The enemy fighters have no idea she's there. They're focused on the clearing, watching for helicopters, not looking for a threat behind them. First shot. Machine gunner, 456 meters. He's sitting behind his weapon, scanning the sky. Nadine puts a 7.62 millimeter round through his chest. Machine gun silenced. Second shot. Fighter on the north perimeter, 389 meters. He's in a prone position, rifle aimed at the clearing, target down. Third shot. Fighter on the east perimeter, 412 meters. Target eliminated. The enemy fighters realize they're under attack, but they don't know from where. They're looking toward the clearing, toward the tree line at ground level, everywhere except up in the trees behind them. Nadine continues her systematic elimination. She's firing methodically, picking targets based on threat level and position. Every shot is deliberate, precise, final. Fourth shot, 445 meters, fighter trying to locate her, target down. Fifth shot, 398 meters, fighter running for better cover, target drops mid-run. Sixth shot, 478 meters, fighter returning fire toward the wrong location. Nadine corrects his aim permanently. Seventh shot, 423 meters, fighter trying to organize the others, leadership target eliminated. The remaining 8 fighters are panicking now. Half their force has been killed in under 2 minutes by an enemy they can't see. Some are trying to withdraw, some are trying to fight. All are vulnerable. 8th shot, 467 meters withdrawing fighter, target down. 9th shot, 391 meters, fighter taking cover behind a tree. She waits for him to lean out. When he does, target eliminated. 10th shot, 434 meters, fighter firing blindly into the jungle, target silenced. 11th shot, 456 meters, fighter running. Nadine leads the movement, target drops. 12th shot, 489 meters, fighter trying to drag a wounded comrade. Both go down from one shot that passes through the first and into the second. 4 fighters left. They're running now, abandoning the ambush, abandoning their wounded, just trying to escape. 13th shot, 501 meters, running fighter, target falls. 14th shot, 478 meters, another runner, target eliminated. 2 fighters left, both running hard through the jungle. Nadine switches to her M4 carbine, faster target acquisition for moving targets at medium range. She drops down from her tree position, lands smoothly, and moves toward the extraction clearing. As she reaches the tree line, she spots the 2 remaining fighters trying to circle back toward friendly territory. She engages with her M4. 3-round burst at the first fighter, 180 meters out. He goes down. 3-round burst at the second fighter, 165 meters. Target eliminated. 15 enemy fighters dead. Extraction point secured. Neptune 1, Reaper 6. Extraction point is secure. I count 15 enemy KIA. Your LZ is clear. Helicopters can approach safely. Reaper 6, Neptune 1. We're 2 minutes from your position, and I'm beginning to think you're not actually human. Just well-trained, Neptune 1, and properly motivated. Nadine moves to the edge of the clearing and establishes a security position, scanning for any additional threats. The jungle around her is quiet. 42 enemy fighters dead in less than an hour of engagement. It's the kind of casualty rate that breaks enemy forces psychologically as much as physically. 2 minutes later, the SEAL team emerges from the jungle, carrying their wounded. They're moving tactically, weapons ready, but visibly exhausted. Lieutenant Commander Jake Morrison, the SEAL team leader, spots Nadine at the tree line and moves toward her. He's muddy, bloody, exhausted, but alive. Reaper 6, I presume? Staff Sergeant Nadine Parker, Army sniper. And before you say anything, yes, I know I violated my orders by engaging. I was going to say thank you for saving my entire team. Twice. First you pulled us out of that ambush, then you secured our extraction. That's 42 enemy fighters you've killed today. I count 43 actually. But who's keeping track? Morrison stares at her, processing this. 43. Jesus Christ, how's that even possible? Elevation advantage, superior weapons, better training, and the element of surprise. Plus, they made tactical mistakes, and I capitalized on everyone. The sound of helicopter rotors grows louder as the extraction birds approach. Morrison keys his radio to guide them in. As the helicopters descend into the clearing, something unexpected happens. 3 Navy SEALs, Chief Petty Officer Marcus Webb, Petty Officer Derek Hansen, and Petty Officer Kyle Martinez, approach Nadine's position and take up security positions around her. "What are you doing?" Nadine asks. Webb grins through his exhausted face. "Making sure nobody shoots the person who saved our lives. You watched our backs all through that fight. Now we're watching yours until we all get on that helicopter." "I don't need, with respect, Staff Sergeant, we're doing this. You saved 12 of us. We're not leaving you standing alone at the tree line while we extract. You're coming with us, and we're providing security while you do," Hansen adds. "Besides, you just killed 43 enemy fighters. The least we can do is make sure number 44 doesn't sneak up on you while you're watching us board helicopters." Martinez scans the jungle with his rifle. "We've got 360 security on you, Staff Sergeant. You just keep doing what you're doing, and we'll make sure nothing interrupts." Nadine feels an unexpected emotion. Gratitude, respect, camaraderie. These SEALs she saved are now protecting her, closing the circle of mutual support that defines elite units. The helicopters land. The wounded SEALs are loaded first, then the rest of the team boards. Webb, Hansen, and Martinez maintain security around Nadine until the last moment. "Your turn, Staff Sergeant," Webb says. "We're all going home together. I've got my own extraction plan. Negative, Morrison says, appearing beside them. You're coming with us. I'm not leaving you in this jungle after what you did. Besides, Command is going to want to debrief you, and the easiest way to make that happen is to bring you with us. Nadine realizes she doesn't actually have a good argument against this. She boards the helicopter, and Webb, Hansen, and Martinez are the last three to climb aboard, maintaining security until the moment the helicopter lifts off. As they gain altitude, Nadine looks down at the jungle below, the clearing where she eliminated 15 fighters, the kill zone where she eliminated 27 more, the ambush site where she saved 12 lives, 43 enemy fighters dead, 0 American casualties beyond the 2 wounded in the initial ambush, both of whom are going to survive. It's the kind of engagement that will be studied in sniper schools for years to come. 1 person, 43 targets, elevation advantage, and perfect precision. But for Nadine, it's simpler than that. She saw Americans who needed help, and she helped them. Everything else is just details. Morrison sits down next to her in the helicopter. When we get back, I'm writing the most detailed commendation report of my career. What you did today, saving us from that initial ambush, eliminating 43 enemy fighters, securing our extraction, that's beyond anything I've seen in 15 years of special operations. I just did what needed doing, sir. No. You did what maybe 10 people in the world could do. You operated alone in hostile territory, engaged numerically superior forces, and achieved complete victory with 0 friendly casualties. That's not just skill. That's exceptional. One of the wounded SEALs, Petty Officer First Class Ryan Cooper, with shrapnel wounds in his leg and arm, leans over from his stretcher. Ma'am, I want you to know something. When we got hit in that ambush, I thought I was dead. I was lying there bleeding, listening to 40 guns firing at us, thinking this was it. And then their machine guns just stopped. Then their assault element stopped. Then everything stopped. We didn't know what was happening until later. One Army sniper had eliminated 27 hostiles and broken their entire attack. I'm glad you made it, Petty Officer. Because of you. We're all here because of you. The helicopter flight back to base takes 40 minutes. During that time, the SEALs treat Nadine like one of their own, sharing water, sharing stories, making jokes to relieve the tension of what they've been through. Webb, Hansen, and Martinez stay close, maintaining what they call personal security, but what really means they've adopted her as part of their team. When they land at the forward operating base, something remarkable happens. The entire SEAL platoon is waiting on the tarmac. As Nadine steps off the helicopter, they form 2 lines leading away from the aircraft. Morrison guides her between the lines, and every SEAL she passes nods in respect, a silent acknowledgement from some of America's most elite warriors to the sniper who saved their teammates. At the end of the line stands Captain Sarah Chen, commander of all Special Operations Forces in the sector. She waits for Nadine to approach. Staff Sergeant Parker, I've been receiving radio reports about your actions for the past hour. 43 enemy fighters eliminated, 12 SEALs saved, extraction points secured. Is this accurate? Yes, ma'am. Though I should note that I violated my rules of engagement. My orders were to observe only, not engage, unless directly threatened. I'm aware. I'm also aware that if you'd followed those orders, I'd be writing 12 death notifications instead of standing here talking to you. Your orders have been retroactively modified to include defensive support of friendly forces. The engagement is considered justified. Thank you, ma'am. Don't thank me. Thank Lieutenant Commander Morrison. He's already filed a recommendation for the Silver Star. I'm endorsing it. What you did today, operating alone against numerically superior forces, achieving complete tactical victory, saving American lives, that's the definition of valor. The debriefing takes 6 hours. Nadine walks command through every decision, every shot, every moment of the engagement. Intelligence officers document every detail about enemy positions, tactics, and casualties. Medical personnel check her for injuries, none found beyond minor scratches from climbing trees. When it's finally over and she's dismissed to get some rest, she finds Morrison and his SEAL team waiting outside the debriefing room. We wanted to say thank you properly, Morrison says. Not just from me, but from everyone. You saved our lives. That's a debt we can never repay, but we want you to know it's acknowledged. If you ever need anything, anything at all, you call us. SEALs take care of their own, and you're one of us now." Webb adds, "We've also been talking, and we want to request you as primary sniper support for all our operations in this sector. We've worked with a lot of snipers over the years, but what you did today was beyond anything we've seen. We want you on our team." Hansen grins. "Besides, after you killed 43 enemy fighters in one engagement, the enemy is going to be terrified of this sector. That psychological advantage alone is worth its weight in gold." Martinez: "We're calling you the Ghost, by the way. 43 enemies killed, and not one of them ever saw you. You were invisible, untouchable, unstoppable. That's Ghost-level operator right there." Nadine feels emotion catching in her throat. These warriors, some of the best in the world, are treating her as an equal, as one of their own. "I'd be honored to work with you again." "Then it's settled," Morrison says. "We'll put in the official request tomorrow, but tonight you need to rest. You've earned it." As the SEALs disperse to their own quarters, Webb, Hansen, and Martinez walk with Nadine to her assigned quarters, still maintaining the protective security they established at the extraction point. "You know you don't have to escort me to my quarters, right?" Nadine says with a slight smile. "We know," Webb replies, "but we made a promise to protect the person who saved our lives. That promise doesn't expire just because we're back on base." They deliver her safely to her quarters, check the area for security, and only then do they leave, after making sure she has their radio frequencies and contact information. Nadine lies down on the cot in her quarters, exhausted but unable to sleep. She thinks about the day: 43 shots fired, 43 enemy fighters dead, 12 American lives saved. It's the kind of day that defines a career, the kind of engagement that gets studied and analyzed and remembered. But for her, it's simpler. She saw Americans who needed help, and she helped them. She violated her orders to observe only, choosing instead to save lives. And she'd make the same choice again without hesitation. The most important shot isn't the one that hits the target. It's the one you're willing to take when lives depend on it. Today, she took 43 of those shots, and 43 times she made the choice to save American lives over following orders. Tomorrow, there will be meetings, briefings, maybe even some disciplinary discussion about violating orders. But tonight, 12 SEALs are alive, telling stories about the ghost sniper who saved them. And that's all that matters. 3 weeks later, Nadine stands in a classified briefing room with Morrison and his SEAL team, planning their next operation. The official request came through. She's now permanently attached to SEAL Team 7 as their designated sniper for all operations in the sector. Intelligence indicates enemy forces have completely abandoned the northern jungle sector, the operations officer explains, pointing at the map. After losing 43 fighters to an invisible sniper, they've declared the entire area cursed. They're telling stories about a ghost warrior who kills from the sky. Morrison looks at Nadine with a slight smile. Psychological warfare at its finest. We didn't just win a tactical engagement, we won an entire sector without firing another shot. Webb leans forward. The enemy is so terrified of operating in that jungle that they've pulled back 15 kilometers. That's given us complete freedom of movement in an area that was previously contested. All because of one engagement, Hansen adds. 43 enemies eliminated, and now thousands of square kilometers are effectively denied to hostile forces. That's strategic impact from a single tactical action. Martinez grins. And every enemy fighter in this region now checks the trees before they move. They know the ghost is out there somewhere. After the briefing ends, Morrison pulls Nadine aside. You know what the most important thing you did that day was? It wasn't the 43 kills, though that's impressive. It wasn't even saving 12 SEALs, though we're grateful. It was showing that one person with the right skills, in the right place, making the right decision, can change everything. I was just in the right place at the right time, sir. No, You were in the right place because you'd been preparing for days. You were ready because you'd trained for years. And when the moment came, you made the hard choice to violate orders and trust your judgment. That's not luck. That's being a professional. That night, as Nadine prepares her equipment for the next mission, she reflects on Morrison's words. The most important shot is the one you're willing to take when it matters most. Not the longest range, not the most difficult conditions, just the one that saves lives when everyone else says it's impossible. She'd taken 43 of those shots, and she'd take 43 more tomorrow if that's what it took to bring Americans home alive. Thanks for watching. Every woman has a story worth telling. Join us to hear them all.